In this video, we're going to be talking about how to manage pages in InDesign. So far, we've been working with single-page documents, but let's talk about how we might want to do a multi-page or double-sided document. The right-hand side of my screen, I have the Pages panel. If you don't see that, you can go ahead and go Window, Pages. The Pages panel right now shows me exactly what I have. I have a single page document, page 1, and here's the page. And down here it says one page in one spread. Now a spread, whenever we have a facing pages document, which this is a facing pages document, meaning it's like a magazine or a book, a spread would be two pages that would be open at the same time. So for instance, if this is page 1, then pages 2 and 3 would be one spread. Now down here we can go ahead and create a new page. It's the same button that we see in pretty much every other Adobe software. It's the Create New button. And now we've created page 2. If I click this again, it's going to make the next spread, right? 2 pages, pages 2 and 3. If I keep clicking this, I now have page 4, and then the next spread, page 5. So I can click on these. If I double click on these, it moves between the different spreads that I have available. It also focuses in on the different pages. So notice if I double click this page 2, my viewport shifts and centers on page 2. If I double click page 3, it shifts and centers on page 3. Let's click back on page 1. I'm just double clicking that to get back there. Now let's say we want to create a new page that doesn't conform to the size that we have here. So maybe we're making a document that has different pieces of paper, different sizes of paper. Typically you would want to make an entirely new document just for that case, but we can actually do that within InDesign by clicking this button right here. And whatever we have selected, it's going to modify that page based on that selection. I'm going to go ahead and double click on my first page just to make sure that was selected. Let's change it to half legal, or tabloid, which is a very long piece of paper. There's other settings like US business card, which is going to make your standard business card. Notice it's keeping all of my column settings that I had set up in my original document, right? I still have a 2-column page with this amount of gutter in between them. So I can actually go in here and manually select each page and change its size individually. Again, this is pretty uncommon. You'll usually want to do this in the actual menu where you're creating your document, and you'll probably just want to do a new document. But sometimes it makes sense to do, for instance, like a cover as one long page that you're going to be splitting up, and then the interior page is all the same. To delete a page, we simply click this little trash can on the selected page. So I select the page and then click delete. I'm just going to switch this back to letter. Now we can also reorder pages. Let's go ahead and get some content on these pages. So I have page 1. I'm just going to draw a simple rectangle. And on page 2, I'll draw a different shape. Now we can reorder these pages by dragging the pages within this page menu and dropping them. So let's say I want to make page 2 my page 1. I'm clicking and dragging my page 1 down here, and see it's kind of giving me a preview of where it wants to go. Let's release it here. Whenever I release it there, it swapped them. So now my page 1 has this design and my page 2 has that design. Let's go ahead and drag it, and this time we'll drag it over here rather than dragging it to the left of this page 3. Whenever we release, it then replaces page 3 instead of page 2. It can be a little bit confusing, but this is just a really great tool for moving things around. Now remember, one of the really important things when we're setting up a new document in InDesign is that we have to decide at that time whether or not we're doing facing pages. That's really important. So just remember, if I do File, New Document, and I have facing pages checked, we're going to have this result where the pages face each other. If that's not checked, let's go ahead and take a look at that. as I make new pages, they're kind of like artboards in Illustrator. They're all independent from each other. So this might be more useful if I was doing like a front and back page, or if I was doing like a series of single sheets that are being printed, as opposed to this document, which is more like a book or a magazine.